So I remember, I don't know, it might have been early in 2021, and I came across it was like a story on NPR about why it's so valuable to reconnect with your dreams, especially out of some kind of traumatic loss. And we experienced a lot of traumatic loss. It was an existential crisis. Let's just admit it. We had a collective existential crisis, and existential crisis is all about questioning our existence. It makes us go, what, why am I here? What's going on in the world, and why am I here, and what does freedom mean, and what are my responsibilities if I am free? We've had to grapple with all these questions. So two psychologists were discussing what to do after there's been upheaval and turmoil. And their suggestion was completely contrarian, out of the box. They said what people typically want to do is kind of go and do what they've always been doing before. But in fact, because everything's been turned up over on its head, the best thing to do is to do something new. Try something new. Let this serve the purpose of getting you to tune into more exciting things about yourself, exciting things, get to know yourself better. So I thought, a self discovery quest. People need to go on a self discovery quest. People don't think that they need to discover anything, but what people do have within them and what's really valuable is wisdom. You have wisdom within you that is can be useful for generations to come. But that wisdom has to be unearthed. And so I took my self discovery quest that I developed and I added to it based on some new information that I was bringing in. These are little tiny snippet thought experiments. We're planting seeds. And I want you to know that if you join the wisdom discovery quest, that these seeds, you don't have to do anything. You can just listen, take it in, and let it kind of work on you. You may take notes. You may share what you're learning with others. You may actually let this turn into content for your business, because what you'll be discovering about yourself, the wisdom you'll be dredging up, is not your everyday stuff, and it's not to build business. It's to let us get to know you. Moreover, this is information that you might want to share with your friends and family, that they may think that they would remember, or you may look at them and go, they're not listening. This is your opportunity to write it down, or bring it to to video, or make an audio file of it, or just take some quick notes for yourself about having a conversation with someone about what's important to you. Each one of these pieces of the puzzle are intended to kind of get you thinking outside of the box, get you dreaming again, because that ultimately, what these psychologists were talking about is like, get in touch with your inner teenager. Your inner teenager wanted ready intentionally, even if they weren't ready. They were going to get kicked out of the nest, right? Most young people go off to college, or they go on some sort of adventure, or they start their first jobs and they move out into the world, whether they feel prepared for it or not. When we've been through a crisis, and remember, this is coming from my background of like coaching on grief. When we're grieving, it makes us want to go inside and isolate. But that's like, we need to do that for a little while, but that can become a bad habit that then we begin to forget who we are and the best parts of ourselves. So if we want to be nourishing the good, then we have to think and be outside the box. So all of these questions are intended to get you thinking about what wisdom you've gained in your life and how you might be able to apply it into whatever your what's next is that you want to pursue for yourself, to make meaningful contribution. Because that ultimately is what we're here for. We crave it whether we admit it or not. We want to fulfill our destiny, fulfill our purpose, and we want to know that we are making a meaningful contribution to the world. So if you've been in a job that isn't fulfilling, there's going to be a part of yourself that doesn't want to do that job anymore, even if you're not admitting it to yourself. And that can tamp down your spirits. They'll be like, I don't know why I'm depressed. Well, if you haven't asked yourself the question, am I happy with my job? And nobody else has asked you that question. Are you happy with your job? Does is it fulfilling? Do you feel like you're part of something that's greater than yourself? Are you challenged on a regular basis? If not, maybe it's time to look for a new job. Or at the very least, tap into what your dreams were in the past. There's a question in here about what your 9-year-old and your 10-year-old was concerned about in the world, was seeing, because those kids 9 and 10, they're so freaking smart and they can see stuff that's not working. But people, of course, often don't take them seriously when they say, I don't like this, this isn't working, I see that this is a problem and I have a solution, and we just poo-poo it. A friend of mine said, get he goes, I started thinking about what my inner 9-year-old, my inner 10-year-old, I go to 9, he went to 10. What my 9-year-old was thinking. I was solving funny problems about tractors and haying because I wanted more time with my dad, who spent all day long on tractors. And I was like, ooh, if I come up with like a farming solution, well, that's not what I'm here for. But it tells you the kind of mind that a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old has. And it's good to look at those things. I was lonely. So part of my mission here on earth is to thwart loneliness. And how do we thwart loneliness? Nourish the good. I'm going to keep coming back to this concept, nourishing the good, over and over and over again, because it's vitally important to our world and um, to our healthy, happy living, which we deserve. So I want to get you tapped in, tuned in, back to your dreams. What were your dreams then as a little kid? When did you stop dreaming? And and how can I help you to get dreaming again? These questions, this 30-day adventure that we're going to take together, that's the way you're going to get dreaming again. So I look forward to you coming on this wisdom gathering quest, and I'll let you know more about that soon. Take care. We'll be in touch.